always a fun, fascinating, interesting conversation when we speak with the brainchild behind youtube.com/that'srank, a YouTube channel devoted to everything food, and more often than not, freaky foods, but not necessarily. Hey, Chris, Father Gil Brown, what do you got for us today?
Well, hello, John Milky, and today this is for you, because last week you asked for it, and I am a man of the people, specifically a man of the milkman. But I want you to flash back to last Thursday when we talked about the doofus in Georgia who called 911 over his cold McDonald's fries.
Yeah.
And he had a warrant out for his own arrest. And at the end of the video, you actually said the biggest thing that was missing from that is that he wasn't a Florida man. So I went ahead and I compiled some of my favorite classic Florida man stories as it relates to food. Before I start, though, none of these stories are going to get you kicked off the Florida airwaves, are they, John?
Nope.
It's probably better if I tell it and you just sort of sit there and
absorb
it.
In this relationship, Chris, I'm just the yes man.
Perfect. Well, let's start in DeLand, Florida. And I kind of love that name for a city. You know, what part of the city are you in? I'm from across DeLand. Anyway. A man called 911 to report that his home had been broken into when prospective thieves draped a towel across his security camera at his home. John Silva and Derek Irving had broken into the man's home, who was a former business partner of theirs, and their plan was to light the place on fire. However, when they saw that the police had arrived, they did the only logical thing that they could do in order to, greet the police at the door. Irving threw on a bull's costume that was nearby, and Silva sat near an empty jar of Ragu spaghetti sauce. Now, you might be wondering where the spaghetti sauce comes into play here. See, what they'd done...
Hey, Chris, you know what I'm doing? I'm wondering how the spaghetti sauce comes into play here.
Well, I'm glad that you asked that question, John.
I actually have a lot of questions, but that one's paramount.
Okay. They started a pot of the Ragu on the stove with a washcloth next to the burner, so that would set up the fire and make it look like it was a natural fire. So as the cops got there, the cloth had actually just caught on fire. And they tried to convince the police that this was completely normal behavior and that the homeowner was making spaghetti. But as the owner said when he was interviewed, they were trying to make it look like I left the stove on, but who gets up at 2 a.m. and fixes sketty? Okay, well, there you go. I was going to ask the question. Have you ever fixed sketty at 2 a.m. in a bull's costume?
It was a cow costume, but, don't judge me, man. That's crazy.
This is a judgment-free zone here. Absolutely. We're talking Florida, man. No, judge. Yeah, we judge everybody else, just not each other. Maybe this next story is going to make a little more sense to you. So once upon a time, there was a real kind of a special feeling that a young man would feel when he thought of the restaurant Hooters. Now, last week, you shared your memories of Le Char. Any chance have you ever felt head over heels? Have you ever felt, head maybe over plunging necklines at Hooters?
I never found the Hooters. You know what? A lot of nice people working at Hooters, and the food was, I just never found that uniform attractive at all. I don't get the whole Hooters thing.
I don't either, but apparently 28-year-old Jonathan Hinkle of Merritt Island, Florida, had something special going on with his local spot, and he was willing to do anything to get there. So he called 911, this is going to be a theme today, and he reported that his grandmother had suffered a stroke in a Hooters parking lot and needed to get there immediately. Now, 911 was
that's where grandma tends to hang out, is Hooters.
Right. But they're not going to taxi him over there, and they actually spent 3 hours trying to track grandma down since he'd reported this. When it turned out that this had been an elaborate...
Here's a tip. She's the one not in the orange tight shorts.
Maybe she is. What's up, Grandma?
Oh, I just lost any appetite I had left.
Maybe we're seeing very different grandmas down in Florida. Anyway. So when they discovered the elaborate ruse, the completely understanding police gave him a ride in the backseat after all, but that was to jail for improper use of the 911 service. Yeah.
By the way, I need to backtrack on my grandma comment, because it dawns on me, of course, after it flies out of my stupid mouth. Oh my God, I could be talking about people who are my age.
Yeah, you certainly could.
I forget sometimes.
When I used to work at Bell Canada, I called one of my employees Grandpa. He was 37 years old with a grandson. So keep that in the back of your mind.
I know.
You'd be very well looking at great grandfather status at your age, John.
My sister's younger than me, and she's a grandmother. So there you go.
You know what? Let's end today on a more wholesome note and talk about pancakes. Are you a pancake guy, John?
Yeah, I've never said no to a pancake. That's for sure.
Like they're special, right? They should be enjoyed anywhere, anytime.
And they can be.
Absolutely. And according to the Lakeland police, well, that's not a fact. And eating pancakes is actually an arrestable offense. But let's backtrack a little bit here. So in March of 2017, the police responded to a call about a pajama-clad man enjoying pancakes, sitting in a folding chair in front of a small table. Like, he had a nice big stack in front of him, fluffy and golden, drowning in butter and syrup.
Sounds okay so far.
No, we got to lock this guy up. He's completely out of control. Now, see, the issue was where he was doing it. It was in the middle of a busy intersection. And apparently, stuff like that doesn't fly in Lakeland.
No.
Maybe here in Ottawa on Wellington Street, but not in Lakeland.
No, outside of church in Ottawa, apparently.
That is true, too.
With Nerf guns and anyway.
So it turns out he was doing it as a prank, but the police didn't find it very funny, charging him with obstructing a roadway. And the second charge is a very real charge, disrupting the free flow of traffic. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. If that one is a real charge, for God's sakes, can somebody please enforce that against every single person who gets onto the highway by slowing down as they're trying to merge into traffic? Please, you're stopping my free flow of traffic at that point.
This segment is no longer about food. It's Rants with Chris Father Gilbrown.
Rants about traffic in Ottawa. John, I probably could have carried the segment for hours. We could legit probably keep this going all week.
Florida makes it easy for you, don't it?
Yeah, we can fill in all 6 hours of your Caller 9 segment. I saw stuff like nude ramen eating, breaking into homes to prepare a snack, throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-through window. I don't know what's going on in Florida, but you work down there. Any thoughts on Florida that are not going to get you fired?
Oh, thoughts that aren't going to get me fired? No.
All right. Well,
No.
We'll save that for another day.
All right. Chris Father Gilbrown, as always, insightful. Thank you for the homework too. I appreciate that. He's on YouTube. It's a great channel. It's a fun follow. It's a rabbit hole like none other. It's youtube.com/that'srank.